Que otro video reaction. Lo estoy grabando un poquito y lo subiré a YouTube. Déjame chequear si todo está ready, si el audio está bacano. Tengo que cambiar nada. No tengo que cambiar nada. Todo está ready. El micrófono está bien. Supongo que se escucha bien. Lo pudiera subir un poquito, ¿no? Pero está bien. Antes que se escuche muy fuerte. Ahí está bien. Un chingo aquí. Ok. Creo que vamos a reaccionar. Vean cómo que se llama. Déjame ver uno nuevo. Déjame conectar los audífonos. Se me olvidó conectarlo. Ya, ok. Ahora sí. Damn. Hay 3 semanas de este. No hay otro canal.
Alright, so how do you feel, Kayleen?
Este canal. Pero yo he relacionado todo esto. Déjame ver.
I know that Naomi would not run away from home. I done looked underneath the bed. I done looked in the closet. I've looked everywhere. I was like, well, maybe she's just hiding, planning to go sleep with you in the house. He's like, no, mama, she's not here.
She's got to be somewhere in some water and some wood somewhere, but I didn't think it was going to be like.
Pulled up and smelled something. I thought it was a hog.
I know that Naomi would not run away from home. I done looked underneath the bed. I done looked in the closet. I've looked everywhere. I was like, well, maybe she's just hiding, planning to go sleep with you in the house. He's like, no, mama,
mi
she's not
gente.
here.
Estamos haciendo video reacción por hoy. Ya ustedes saben. Denle en tap a la pantalla. Dense su likecito. Y hoy estamos. Déjame yo bajar esto un poquito para que puedan ver. O déjame yo leer el título. Woman discover her boyfriend horrifying secret. No lo pude leer entero, pero me lo sé de la cabeza. A ver, sí, así está todo ready. Lo voy a dejar así mismo y todo. Seguimos.
She's got to be somewhere in some water and some wood somewhere, but I didn't think it was going to be like.
Pulled up and smelled something. I thought it was a hog. I walked back up the rail just a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hog.
When 12-year-old Naomi Jones woke up on May 31st, 2017 at her home in Pensacola, Florida, she had no idea the horror waiting just around the corner. Later that day, her mother received a call from Naomi.
Espero que les gusten el nuevo skin, como lo puse así, la pantalla. Lo cambié un poco. También pueden rotarlo, tú sabes, para que se vea en pantalla un poco más grande si quieren. Pero estamos activos, estamos evolucionando lentamente. Que es lo que es Carlitos de la Cruz.
Naomi's two younger brothers. They were fine, but there was no sign of Naomi, who was in charge of watching over them. As an investigation into her disappearance gets underway, those looking for Naomi have no idea just how close she is the entire time.
I had 2 missed calls and I thought it was, I looked, I was like, who is this number? And then I realized through text
Gracias por los likes, gracias por los likes.
messages, I was like, oh, that's let me call him back. And it was, and he was like, Mom, I ain't seen Naomi. I done looked underneath the bed. I done looked in the closet. I've looked everywhere. I was like, well, maybe she's just hiding, planning to go sleep with you in the house. He's like, no, Mama, she's not here.
Knowing her 12-year-old daughter would never abandon her brothers under anything less than extreme circumstances, Naomi's mother, Shantara Hurry, left work and rushed home to search for her daughter. When there was no sign of Naomi, Shantara called the police to report her missing.
Eso sí que está media desordenada esa casa. No digo yo que no lo hubiesen encontrado ahí estando escondido el cuerpo.
Authorities took the report of a missing child seriously and jumped into action. Right away, they began canvassing the apartment complex where Naomi and her family lived and surrounding neighborhood, as well as organizing a foot search. Their efforts quickly turned up some distressing evidence.
Esta gente di que loco.
Outside the complex on the
Loco por mudarse pa esos países, pero a mí no me gustan esa casa, bro. Esas casas se ven horribles, bro. El sueño de que americano, está bien, mira cuántos carros viejos y de todo. América es una misión, no son todas las ciudades bonitas. No son todas las ciudades bonitas, ¿no?
and surrounding neighborhood, as well as organizing a foot search. Their efforts quickly turned up some distressing evidence. Outside the complex on the side of the road was a lock of dark brown hair. Naomi had a hair weave, and investigators suspected that this hair could have been torn or pulled free during a struggle. This theory was further supported when they found an additional lock of hair.
Damn, bro, pero tan joven. 12 años. Qué fuerte, bro.
Struggle. This theory was further supported when they found an additional lock of hair some feet away in the grass. Police, along with Naomi's friends and family, distributed missing person posters around the area. They also interviewed all of the residents at the apartment complex, including Naomi's younger brothers. Because they were the last to see Naomi before she vanished, it was important that police learn everything they could from the boys. However, interviewing a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old was no simple task. Most of the following footage has never been seen before.
I was in the bathroom there. My sister had walked outside, and my brother told me Naomi's gone. And I went outside to look, and then I called my mom.
What did you use to call her?
My next door neighbor's phone.
Were there any other phones in the house?
My sister's phone.
Tell me how come Naomi didn't take her phone.
I think it was because she wasn't going anywhere for it. She takes her phone everywhere with her.
Mm-hmm.
While the boys were being questioned,
Te soy sincero, este es uno de los canales favoritos míos para yo ver. Yo hago pilas reacciones y las publico en YouTube. Pero este canal es bacanísimo. Este canal es duro. Porque, por ejemplo, esta escena, eso nadie lo ha visto antes. Eso el creador de este YouTube tiene que hacer una petición a la policía con el número de caso, número de y toda esa vaina, con unos papeles especiales que esto, y ellos le entregan toda la documentación, todos los videos, los body cam footage, toda esa vaina, bro. Yo digo que eso es un trabajazo lo que hacen ellos, y yo lo cojo suave, yo hago mis video reacciones.
police also took the opportunity.
Pero esto es durísimo. Hasta en la televisión, sí. Hay pila de canales. Crime Investigation. Pila de canales que se tratan solamente sobre esto.
To speak more with Shantara. She was more certain than ever that Naomi had not left home by choice.
I know that Naomi would not run away from home. I also know that if it was somebody that she knew she still would not have left her two siblings at home by themselves. If they feel any unction that Naomi is going somewhere, they hop right up, they're her shadow. You get what I'm saying? So I'm even wondering if my baby even has shoes on. Because I'm looking at all her shoes and whatever, and I don't see any shoes missing. You get what I'm saying? Like, if her not to say, Naomi, I'm going with you. It was nothing that gave my 4-year-old the unction that Naomi was really going far.
In addition to insight into Naomi's character, Shantara was also willing to share some of her suspicions about who may have been involved in Naomi's disappearance. The person of most interest, according to her, should be Naomi's father, Robert Jones.
What's your gut tell you about this whole thing?
Robert, I just want to try to figure out who lured her. It's not really much that can really lure her in either besides her father. The person who she wants to get her attention from, the person she hasn't seen in so long.
The police dutifully followed up with Naomi's father. Despite Shantara's certainty that he may have been involved, police found nothing to suggest that was the case. With his alibi verified, investigators moved on to questioning all of those in Naomi's immediate vicinity. Combined with an ongoing foot search for Naomi, this was no small task, and the FBI soon joined the search for Naomi. In addition to conducting interviews, police obtained search warrants for several nearby units. One such unit belonged to Lauren. Police were particularly interested in her apartment as it had a direct line of sight to Naomi's back deck, where the girl was known to often dance. They were concerned that her dancing could have attracted unwanted, inappropriate attention. In the course of searching the apartment, investigators discovered that Lauren's boyfriend, Robert Howard, spent a good deal of time at the residence, despite having his own home about an hour away.
How long have you been with Robert?
About 2 years.
About 2 years? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go back to, obviously this has been in the news for a week now about the little girl at your apartment complex, Naomi. What kind of girl was she? Was she friendly? Was she kind of...
She seemed like she was kind of friendly, just like a little girl. She would just, do like little dances on the back patio if I was out washing before my washer broke.
Does Robert live with you?
No.
So, explain to me how that works out, because he's up in Bruton at work, and he also keeps a place up there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like averaging a week, how many times do you stay the night at your house?
He always stays Friday and Saturday night because he's off. But
just depending on his work schedule, he'll come. And if you're at work, does he stay there without you sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
The story will only take a bizarre turn from here. In the course of performing due diligence, police looked into Robert, and what they found sent alarm bells ringing.
What do you know about his past?
I know that he got convicted back in the late 90s, right after high school.
Para poder fumar, porque no estoy en que me shadowban ni me jodan.
Some details that
Ya tengo la opción, ya yo puedo pararlo, gracias a Dios. Mira, me pongo esa, pam, y me pongo esa, pam. Ya déjame ponerlo.
There was a girl who accused him of her and not being able to afford any kind of lawyer or anything like that. He just, he give you a privilege to come down. He was telling me about witnesses that wouldn't take his witnesses on his side, and they just listened to her, whoever that her people had or her.
In 1999, Robert Howard was convicted of 2 counts of assault in the state of Alabama. He served 15 years in prison before being released on probation in 2014. Since then, he'd been registered as an offender. Upon learning this, police were immediately suspicious that he could have been involved in Naomi's disappearance and brought him in. Robert informs the police that he was at the gym on the morning of the incident and returned to Lauren's apartment around 11 a.m. Soon after, he went to see Lauren at work and both returned home half an hour later as Lauren wanted to change her shirt. He further shares that
long time no see. Bom quererme mais, coño. Bom año, Dushi. Bom año.
they were only at the apartment for a short time and left again around noon so Lauren could go back to work. Robert tried to go to the dollar store but chose to stay in his car when it began storming. It seemed that Robert had a solid alibi for the entire day Naomi went missing.
And after that, I headed on out to Bruton to go see a friend before they went to a funeral.
This is where
Tami aqui por bando bira TikToker, bira streamer, com que pendeu. Ei, você trai placa me taru, man. As um video reaction kinan.
investigators began to question a series of events. According to Robert, he left Pensacola to visit a friend in Bruton, then turned around and drove an hour all the way back to Pensacola, then went back to Bruton again to clock in for work. It was clear that something wasn't adding up.
How come on a Wednesday you went to Bruton, came home just to get your stuff, and then went right back to work?
I went to see my friend.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is somebody that my girlfriend knows nothing about, so I went to see her. Because like I said, her uncle had passed. I'm going to see her.
Right. How come you didn't take your stuff with you, though? That just seems like a whole lot of driving to me.
I do a lot of driving, believe it or not. But, I mean, I was dressed. I mean, I just didn't have my boots or my rain gear. So I had to come back to get that.
Do you know who Naomi is?
Yes, I know exactly who she is. I see her. Well, you see her every time we're in and out the apartment. Her and her brother's either out there playing with their dog, or they're on that back balcony, or they're in between the apartments playing.
Had you seen her at all that day?
No, ma'am. I ran into, I don't know the little girl's mom name, but her and another older lady as I was getting ready to get into the car to head back to Bruton for work. And that's when she asked me, have I seen her daughter? Yeah, I was coming down the steps as I put my boots in the back seat, and I was getting ready to get into the car. Actually, her friend that was with her asked me first, have I seen a little girl? And I'm like, well, no, ma'am, I just came out the apartment. And she was like, well, it's my daughter. And I'm like, well, no, ma'am. She's like, well, she's missing. And I stood there and talked.
No te creo nada, no te creo nada. Tú no te has sentado ahí por nada. Tú no te has sentado ahí por nada. No te hagas el santo, tú sabes muy bien.
With them for a minute before I left.
This incident would have chilling implications later. While it was odd, it was far from a reason to detain Robert further. Police would confirm his alibis, but for now, they focused their attention on those closer to Naomi. For example, they interviewed Shantara's ex-boyfriend, Bruce.
Naomi's birthday was fit to come up, and she asked me for a pair of Space Jam Jordan shoes.
But you said you were just over there at like a little cookout or something, right? Like a month ago?
No, her mom called me over there. They was cooking shrimp and fish or something like that. And I went over.
Naomi texted you wanting certain shoes.
Yeah, she wanted the shoes, the Space Jams. And I said, since you've been good and you kept your grades up, I said, listen to your mama, obey your mama, follow what your mama say, and I get you them shoes. Then her mom's fall out. I don't text her nothing. Because she's saying I owe her $70.
According to what Bruce told police, his conversation with Naomi was simply his attempt to be a positive influence in her life. He also stated that he'd recently come back in contact with the family and thought they were on good terms. But when Shantara told him to stop talking to her daughter, he said that he respected her wishes and ceased all contact. Before parting ways with the investigation, Bruce gave some insight into Naomi's behavior.
Let me tell you something. Naomi don't go nowhere, sir. She don't let them kids out the house.
The boys were home. They stayed in the house.
Naomi don't go outside like that. Naomi like the phone. She like computers. She like to be in her room. She like to be by herself.
You ever see her go anywhere without her phone?
The phone was left in the house.
No.
It seemed that everyone who knew Naomi was sure that she would not wander off on her own. As time ticked on with no further signs of Naomi, the case was looking increasingly grim. The foot search continued, expanding to cover a 3-mile radius surrounding Naomi's home. But despite the monumental effort of the local police and the FBI, nobody could find any trace of Naomi. Police went through her phone and contacts, There they discovered messages from a man by the name of Tridarius Gray, who at 18 was 6 years older than Naomi. When they looked into the relationship further, investigators saw a few potential red flags and headed out to his...
Bobo. Ay, bobo. Yo no entiendo. Los padres tienen que controlar el teléfono. Yo sé que es medio psicópata, que yo no sé qué, pero que en estos tiempos hay mucho, tú sabes, gente rara. Gente rara, hay que cuidar sus hijos. Damn, bro.
residence to get some answers.
Okay, Tridarius, so you know Naomi, correct?
Yo mismo, el hijo mío tiene teléfono, pero él no tiene ninguna, tú sabes, como forma de redes sociales o lo que sea. Solamente es como quien dice para jugar. Y adentro del juego, ya tú sabes, yo soy medio extra controlador. Mira, él juega mucho Roblox. Y adentro del Roblox hay pila de predators que pueden mandar mensajes a tus hijos, requests, que esto, que lo otro, de pase amiguito y que esto y que lo otro, de que para jugar con él y tu grupo, por ahí María se fue. Ok. Yo tengo el Roblox de él en el teléfono mío y todas las solicitudes, toda la vaina que le mandan a él, a mí me llega primero a mí y estoy yo abriendo el teléfono, chequeando uno por uno. Cualquiera dice que de que obsesivo, que esto y que lo otro, pero yo prefiero ser de prevenido y no de que tú sabes eso, que es un varoncito, pero que yo no cojo esa, bro. Estos tiempos no ven sexo. Ellos lo que ven es alguien vulnerable y bobo.
Correct. How do you know Naomi?
Went to school with her.
Okay, what grades were you in school with her?
I was in...
Creo que mi socio ladra. Mira el skin, creo que.
8th, and I don't know what grade she was in.
Okay, she would have been elementary? Okay. And so you've known her for how long, would you say?
3-4 years.
Okay. So with that friendship that y'all kind of have, is it just like a close friendship? Y'all text every now and then? Kind of describe your relationship with her.
She just takes me out of nowhere.
While it was ultimately determined that Tridarius had nothing to do with the Naomi Jones case, this wasn't the last time he would be under police scrutiny. Almost 5 years later, in 2022, Tridarius Gray was involved in a serious crime where he shot his ex-girlfriend, Jacavia Simmons, and then took his own life. For Naomi's case, however, one phone call was about to change the trajectory of the entire investigation. On June 5th, less than a week after Naomi went missing, 2 individuals contacted emergency dispatch to report a gruesome discovery that would change everything.
Are you still...
Hell, nobody like to have to fish so much.
You guys were fishing?
No.
No?
We work together, and we really like to fish. Well, you know, that bridge has just been...
Bueno, pero que cuánta gente han investigado en este caso, lo que Dios sabrá quién es. Ey, y eso que estamos comenzando, mi gente, mala mía, estoy hablando saco de mierda, déjame ponerlo de nuevo ya. Claro que mi rey, ladra.
Complete recently that I remember, and we were right there and we wanted to stop. You know, I was like, hey, we'll go check that out on the way back, because we were 2 blocks up the road on the corner, putting in a garage door. Well, we finished and said, okay. So we pulled over. And we pulled over, you know, just to look, because we like to fish. That's something that's one of the perks of our jobs, is we can stop and fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pulled up and smelled something. I thought it was a hog, you know, because the color and everything.
Pero dale 20 segundos para atrás que me perdí.
Well, we finished and said, okay. So we pulled over. And we pulled over, you know, just to look, because we like to fish. That's something that's one of the perks of our jobs, is we can stop and fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pulled up and smelled something. I thought it was a hog, you know, because the color and everything. I thought somebody had skinned a hog. Well, walked back up the rail just a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hog.
Yeah.
Tragically, what they discovered in the water was none other than the remains of Naomi Jones. Her body was in an advanced state of decomposition, which, combined with shock, is likely why the men did not immediately recognize what they were seeing.
I mean, we didn't go down. We knew.
Ya sabemos que hacen estos dos ahí. Ellos fueron que encontraron el cuerpo. Diantre, bro. Tú sabes que siempre ahí se queda la esperanza de encontrar la persona hasta que no encuentran el cuerpo. Cuando encuentran el cuerpo... Oh, wacht, moet ik terugspoelen? Wacht, ik ga terugspoelen. ¿Dónde te perdiste? Espérate, me ve. Más para atrás, más para adelante. Es todo, ok. Aquí nos quedamos, más o menos. Que ahí que yo estaba hablando mierda. Lo pongo desde aquí.
Went missing. 2 individuals contacted emergency dispatch to report a gruesome discovery that would change everything.
Ah, no. Él piensa que es un puerco. En América se le dice hog a los puercos. Y también pork. Pero un hog es como un puerco, tú sabes, de esos marrones que andan por ahí. Ah, no, no le pare, no le pare. Cualquier cosa que tú no entiendas, tú me dejas saber, yo lo pongo, le doy para atrás, lo pongo para adelante, como tú quieras. Aquí yo doy para la comunidad y tú sabes, para ver al tiempo de ustedes. Y es más que tú eres la única que está aquí ahora mismo con el pana mío. So, al tiempo de ustedes me dicen.
Are you
Hell
still?
do we like to have this fish so much?
You guys were fishing?
No.
No.
We work together and we really like to fish. Well, you know, that bridge has just been complete recently that I remember, and we were right there and we wanted to stop. You know, I was like, hey, we'll go check that out on the way back because we were 2 blocks up the road on the corner putting in a garage door. Well, we finished and said, okay. So we pulled over. And we pulled over, you know, just to look because we like to fish. That's something that's one of the perks of our jobs is we can stop and fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pulled up and smelled something. I thought it was a hog, you know, because the color and everything. I thought somebody had skinned a hog. Well, walked back up the rail just a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hog.
Yeah.
Tragically, what they discovered in the water was none other than the remains of Naomi Jones. Her body was in an advanced state of decomposition, which, combined with shock, is likely why the men did not immediately recognize what they were seeing.
I mean, we didn't go down. We knew as soon as we saw it, both started calling 911. We both knew what we had to do and just sat right there and waited. We didn't want to move, but the initial, before we even saw what was happening, we both leaned over the rail to look at the water.
Yeah.
And caught it.
Crime scene officials rushed to secure the area and recover her remains. Naomi's body was found floating in the water below 8 Mile Bridge, about 4 miles from her home. The foot search for Naomi had only covered 3. Naomi was wearing the red tank top she had last been seen in.
Ya lo sabe, loco, de que encontrarse con un cuerpo así es un bobo. Y no, lo lindo es de que ellos querían ver lo que manga ahí, portada de chimoso, manga ahí. Mira lo que... Bueno, gracias a Dios también encontraron el cuerpo, porque tú sabes que si no, al final se descompone ese cuerpo y nadie lo encuentra. Pero siguen de chimoso.
But her American flag print shorts and underwear were missing.
¿Qué? ¿Por qué?
After locating the body, investigators likely weren't surprised when the medical examiner ruled Naomi's death a homicide. Now that they know they were hunting a killer, the entire investigation shifted. And as it so happened, Naomi's neighbor Robert Howard had never really left the police's radar.
Ya lo sabe. Y eso, que los ratones son inteligentes en estos tiempos, pero como quiera alguna vez se caen en la trampa. Y no, que algunos son tan inteligentes que mandan uno adelante para que se muera. Dice, si ese no volvió por ahí no vamos más nunca. Son unos tigres.
Part of Robert's previous statement had raised a red flag for investigators.
I was coming down the steps as I put my boots in the back seat, and I was getting ready to get into the car.
On its own, this statement is unimportant. Police likely wouldn't have noticed anything wrong with it if Robert hadn't contradicted himself just a few minutes later.
I mean, I was dressed. I just didn't have my boots or my rain gear. Mm-hmm. So I had to come back to get that.
When he was brought back to the station, Robert was left alone for about half an hour before detectives started.
El truco de ellos, dejate para que te vuelva loco. Media hora, vuélvete loco ahí, mirando las paredes. Cánsate mentalmente antes de que nosotros te digamos una palabra.
what would turn out to be an exhausting, frustrating, and disturbing interrogation.
Let me take that out, yeah.
Is it all right if I just stand up in the room and stretch my legs and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's gonna come in and get your buckles in a second. But yeah, you can get up and stretch your legs.
That I'm all back forward.
What's that? Buckles? Well, we're just gonna go over some of the stuff. The other investigator talked to you earlier this morning. Mm-hmm. I had a chance to read over everything, and I had a couple questions I didn't get to ask you because I was busy. Okay. All right.
Once the DNA collection is complete, investigators then casually mention his Miranda rights before commencing what will likely be one of the most harrowing interrogations they have ever conducted.
The missing girl, have you ever seen her around the complex or?
See her all the time when we were in and out. They would always speak whenever we would come in and out. Other than that, everybody.
She dances a lot back there, doesn't she?
I guess.
On the balcony.
Well, they be back there playing most of the time when I see them as far as dancing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was she friendly? I mean,
she always spoke. I mean, I say other than that, that's pretty much all I know about her. I said she would always speak. If she seen us, she would speak. Regardless if we seen her or not, she would let us know that she was there. She would speak.
Investigators likely took note of this, and instead of easing off as Robert had likely hoped, they press harder.
Did she ever?
No. Ese es el vecino que ve el patio de ellos. Y por eso que le dicen a cada rato que tú ves cuando ella está afuera en el vaina. Y no, si está bailando, que tú sabes, como insinuando para ver si él dice, tú sabes, a ver si se pasa o something, se le slip up o algo. Él dice, no, ellos siempre están ahí jugando, pero siempre tú lo escuchas y que esto y que lo otro, que So, tú sabes. Pero eso es tratando de que el tipo se rompa en cierto momento y comience a hablar, porque ellos no tienen nada todavía.
Come over to y'all's.
O no se sabe si tienen algo, porque algunas veces ellos investigan y te dejan hablar y después de repente te dan ¡pam! Mira, pero nosotros sabemos esto, ¡pum! Y te dan un chin de información, pero todavía no te dan todo, porque ellos quieren ver si pueden confiar en tu palabra cuando tú comiences a cantar. Ellos tienen truco y yo me lo sé todito.
Apartment or anything. So
I've never been to Lawrence. If she has, she's been there when I wasn't there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Lauren told me one day that they missed the bus and they came and used her phone to call their mom to let her know they missed the bus. Other than that, that's
Por eso no sé, ese sí pedacito no sé, no me lo llevé yo creo. Si estaba preso o no. A lo mejor no lo escuché.
all I know about them being there.
Okay.
Have they ever been in your cars?
No.
Either one of your cars?
No.
Did you see that girl that Wednesday at all?
No, sir.
When was the last time you saw her?
I have no idea. It may have been that weekend, maybe.
Tú ves, eso siempre ellos hacen también. Ellos agarran y te hacen la misma pregunta de nuevo. Mira, porque es la segunda vez que él vino ahí. Y por casualidad de la vida tiene que hacer la misma ropa. O la misma ropa. Pero él le pregunta, ¿tú la viste ese miércoles? Si él hubiese dicho que sí y la otra vez él dijo que no, ellos ya saben que él está mintiendo. Y eso todo ellos lo escriben.
Between Friday and Sunday.
How often do you stay at that apartment?
With my regulations of what I can and can't do, I'm allowed to stay anywhere 3 days, no more than 3 days. So I'll stay like 2-3 days at a time. I go home for a day. I can come back for 3 more days. So that's how I usually do.
You said that the missing girl was never in your car or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only interaction you've had with her is just like...
If I see her, she sees me, or she sees however we were, she speaks. That's it.
Ellos ya saben más, tú ves, ya yo sé que ellos saben más, porque él que le está preguntando de que ella nunca estaba en tu carro. Si él dice que no, ellos pueden hacer swap en el carro de él y si sale el ADN de ella en cualquier forma, tu surupo, ellos ya dicen como quien dice, pero tú dijiste que ella nunca estaba en tu carro, so ¿cómo está el ADN de ella adentro de tu carro?
Do you hang out in any certain areas of Pensacola, or what do you do when you're here in Pensacola?
We're pretty much at the apartment.
The police ask Robert if he's ever been in the Lincoln Park area. At first, he says no, then eventually...
Gracias por la batatica, o yo no sé, está chiquitico el icono, no lo veo, pero gracias, gracias.
Usually concedes that he occasionally goes to church on the outskirts of the neighborhood. The discovery of Naomi's remains in the same area casts further doubt on Robert's initial denial of any connection to that part of the neighborhood, raising further suspicions about his involvement.
Your car, describe it to me. You said it's silver.
It's a silver 2010 Nissan Altima. Nothing
Gracias
special
por
about
los
it.
stickers.
Has a
2-door, 4-door.
Todos los stickers que me mandan, a mí me ponen tan feliz porque, dime, a mí no me sale casi nada, yo soy principiante, pero todos los stickers son bienvenidos, gracias. Son en inglés. I really appreciate it.
4-door. Yeah.
You know, tinted windows, rims.
Tinted windows, no rims.
As the investigators delve deep,
Special about it, has a
2-door, 4-door.
4-door. Yeah.
4-door. You know, tinted windows, rims.
Tinted windows, no rims.
as the investigators delve deeper, certain details don't only distress them, but also serve to solidify some of their suspicions.
What kind of girls are you into? I mean, what do you like?
Like grown women. I mean, women is my age. I mean, like I really have no preference of what size or, you know, how fat or how skinny, how tall or thin, but they're gonna be legal.
Yo estaba viendo como quien dice, ya yo estaba loco por preguntarle, pero ¿te gustan las jóvenes?
No, I don't fool with no kids. I don't mess with no teenagers, anything like that.
I got you. I mean, you like younger girls? Like,
I mean, I haven't been with anyone younger than Lauren.
What's the youngest girl you've been with?
Lauren is the youngest girl I've been with.
She's 30?
30, yes.
In response, investigators drop a surprise reality check to rattle Robert further.
What if I were to tell you that your car was in the area where her body was found that night?
No, that's impossible.
Why?
Tú ves lo que estoy diciendo. Ellos saben más, bro, y chin a chin le van a dar información para que él se ponga nervioso ahora. Bobo con él.
It could have been.
Why? Tell me why.
Because when I have my car, it's either at work. When I leave work, I come straight back to Avenue, Lauren's apartment.
Did anybody else have your car that night?
No one ever has my car.
So you don't know, does Lauren ever drive your car?
She has a few times, but it's been a little while since she drove my car.
You don't ever loan your car out?
No.
Given his earlier statement about visiting a friend in Bruton for a funeral, police followed up on his alibi in an interview with Yolanda Mitchell, who was willing to challenge part of Robert's statement.
The only reason that I remember May 31st is because that is the day of my uncle's funeral. That's the only reason I remember that day.
Okay.
And he did not know that that was the day of my uncle's funeral. He did not know when I was going. He did not know what time the funeral was going to be. And I told the detectives that called me, I don't delete text messages. So I have all the text messages that we've ever sent to each other. And I think it was about 12:57 that I sent him a text that said, please pray for me and my family. This is going to be hard. And he texted me back like at 1:02 or something like that. I don't remember what he said. He said something about, are you okay? Or do you need to talk? Or something of that nature.
The thing about that is that we already have your phone records.
Okay.
And you
Bobo, sí, porque a todo el mundo se le olvida. En América they can pin your location de tu teléfono. Que porque tu teléfono manda una señal a cada rato a un tower. A los towers más cerca. Y ellos te pin tu location. Porque entonces ellos te triangulan. Vamos a decir, cogen 3 towers. En un momento pineó allá, aquí, y lo ponen al y saben dónde tú estás. Sigan jodiendo. Sí, sí. Aquí también te pinean el teléfono, porque aquí es lo mismo. Aquí es lo mismo. Todo lo que usan allá lo usan aquí también.
were at the apartments at 1:30.
I was gone at 1:30.
Phone records show no, you were there at 1:30. That phone number you gave me is the phone number we subpoenaed for the records. You were at the apartments at 1:30. You were not in Bruton.
I was on my way to Bruton.
You were. I'm not going to argue with you.
I mean, you don't have to argue, but okay. If you say I was at the apartment, just please search my license. Nothing has been changed in my car since the day that the first officer flipped through it and looked through it. Everything's in there. If you find anything in that car, it's going to be from Yolanda Mitchell, where she sits in that front seat and talks to them. Other than that, that's it.
While Robert insists on his innocence, he likely doesn't know that the investigators have already spoken with Yolanda and gathered more incriminating information against him. She also revealed that he hadn't been completely upfront with the investigators about the nature of their relationship.
What was your relationship with him? It's not really here. It's not going to be anything we're going to ever bring up other than maybe,
friends, but more than friends.
Okay.
Nobody really knew about our relationship.
Okay.
Investigators now get more aggressive in their approach as they push him further to the edge of truth.
I think one or two things happen. You either have a fetish or were attracted to Naomi and you got her to get in your car and things might have gotten, let's say, a little carried away, or either you're just a stone cold killer, man.
Well,
I mean,
it's
one or the
it's
other.
neither, because I never got her to get in my car. She's never been in my car. That's why I've never cleaned my house. I've never cleaned my car because of that. So I feel like if I clean that car and y'all find it clean, oh, well, he cleaned it before we can get to it. That's why I didn't do that.
Why would you even think?
Because the day that when they looked through the day that they questioned us, I had to get a brake job done. I told.
What day were you questioned?
Friday.
Okay.
And I told the guy, I said, well, I had an appointment to get a brake job done at 10. I said, I'm not leaving because y'all questioned me. The other guy that was with him came, looked through my trunk. He opened my back seat, looked in it, front seat, looked in it. And from that day there, I said, don't clean this car out. Because I feel like, it's eventually going to come.
You were too late, my nigga. You already were too late. Ya tú di que pensaste de que ya lo había limpiado o que tú tenías tanta vaina de limpiar en tu baúl.
So, I'm already, have a status offender. So, whatever I have is going to be searched. I feel like that anyway.
Right.
Because I'm already a potential suspect. Again, let me say that.
But wouldn't you agree you had time to clean the car before you were even questioned?
Sure, but I didn't. There was no need to. I told Lauren the same thing.
What made you feel that way?
Like I just told you. I feel like, when you look through it, I'm right there at the complex where this child's missing. I'm right there. I'm already, like I said, from the status is over my head already. So I'm right there. So he's right here. So why not just check him out?
Right.
That's why.
What police don't mention is that they've already done exactly that, and what they found inside made their blood run cold.
We have your car on video. We have your phone records that show your exact...
Precisely. He trying to be slick, but he ain't.
...route from where you were at, from the apartments to Bruton, back down to where she was found, back to... And they show exactly which route you went. You can't deny it. It's your phone number. It's your phone number and your phone records. You could keep denying it, or you can tell me what really happened and give your story of what happened. She's a cute girl. She looks a little older. Maybe you guys had something and...
How can we have something? I've never been around a child.
How do you explain, though? How do you explain that your phone is showing that you're going in those directions? How do you explain
this is showing, if you say you got my car on video and you say this is showing all of this, let me see it. Because there's no way that, none of that.
Want to see it?
There's no way.
All right, I'll show you.
Ain't no way. Fine, I'll show you.
What's that?
A Nissan Altima.
Okay, and what is that supposed to mean?
Here you go.
That's your car.
Here you go.
So how are you just going to tell me that's my car? Out of...
It's your car. Because your phone puts you in that exact spot that car is at the exact time that car is on that video.
Okay, if you say so.
We don't say so. I mean, that's what
It's
the
all in-
evidence says.
That is not my car. That's not my car. That child's never been in my car. I've never had that child in my car. Like I said, me and that child has never been in spitting distance of each other. Never.
While Robert continues to build on his web of lies, investigators have solid proof. According to the medical reports, Naomi had been assaulted before her death. Before even breaking the evidence seal on the door of the vehicle, crime scene investigators noticed what could have been blood on the back end of the vehicle. When police inspected the interior of the car, they found similar stains on the back seat. As Robert fiercely denies ever having Naomi in his car, the investigators, certain they have him cornered, become increasingly confrontational.
So you are a cold-blooded murderer.
Because
you're sitting here deny. You don't care. You just put it like you just deny everything and lie because we have proof that you're lying.
But this child has never been in my car.
To me, a 12-year-old baby is dead, and you're sitting here lying through the whole thing about.
Full troubles. Hey, settle down. Hey. They're going on him, munching on him.
Where you were for some reason.
I've never had her.
Must have stashed her somewhere.
I've never had her. She's never been with me.
She has. You killed her.
No, I did not.
What'd you do then?
I didn't do anything.
You were that baby.
Okay. I can't argue with what you think or how you feel about it. I can just.
She just turned 12. She's 11 years old.
I did not touch that child. I did not have that child.
Investigators found a windbreaker on the back seat of his car that was also stained with what could be blood. Chillingly, there was a copy of Naomi's missing person flyer.
Bro, ese tipo, ik weet zeker hij is aan het poepen. Ese tipo se está cagando, bro, ahí en esa silla. Él no puede ni exaltarse porque que se está cagando. Él sabe que ya lo mangaron. Él está jodido.
Fire on the dashboard, along with cleaning supplies in the trunk. Also in the trunk, alongside the cleaning supplies, were a pair of boots that Robert said he'd forgotten at home. A second pair of boots were also in the back seat.
The blood they found on the side of the vehicle.
Only on the side of it?
Yes.
What if I blood inside
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ahora tú quieres saber.
Passenger side, in front of the rear tire.
The most damning evidence investigators found while searching Robert's vehicle was blood on the exterior of the car, below one of the back doors. This could have been left when a body was put in or taken out of the vehicle. With all this information, police knew they were on the right track before Robert even started trying to sell them his story.
Was she scared?
I don't know what she was. I didn't have her.
Did she cry?
I didn't have her.
Did she try to fight? I heard she was a fighter.
I never had her, so I don't know. You asking me things that
Did she have a chance to fight?
I don't know. I have no idea. You asking me things that I don't know nothing about. She wasn't with me. I didn't have her, so I don't know what she could have did, fought, cry,
She cried
whatever.
for her mama?
I have no idea.
Did she beg you to stop?
I don't know what you're talking about because she was not with me. She was not with me. All aside. No, I said I don't know nothing about this kid.
And that's fine. I just want to know why you were over there.
When I came home, sometimes when I come home at night, I ride around to see what I can find out to hook up with.
Okay.
That's what I was doing.
Did you hook up with anybody that night? No, you didn't find it? Do you know that area or you just were driving
just was
around?
driving. Just was driving.
What if I could tell you that you stopped on that bridge?
Porque que no paran. Él sabe ya. Él lo mangaron. Él tiene que inventarse otra vez. No se puede quedar diciendo lo mismo. Es que él sabe que ya lo mangaron. En realidad él está jodido. Él está bien jodido.
Where?
Right there where she was found. When you turn off Detroit on the Ashland there, you go up past that business a little ways and there's a bridge there with big concrete things and rails on top of it.
Yeah. That's how I only.
Yeah. Y tú sabes muy bien.
That was the only time I stopped when I got back after that corner. That stop sign.
You never stopped on that bridge? You sure about that?
Yes.
Thought we were being truthful.
We are.
No, we're not.
Okay.
You stopped on the bridge to put her body in the water. Naomi's body.
Did you throw her over the rail or did you drag her around the side? That's the question I had. I was
didn't throw her on the rail. I didn't drag her around the side. I did not dump nobody. I did not dump a body anywhere. She was not in my car. Anything.
She in your trunk?
No. No. Not at all.
Why are you stopped on that bridge a minute and a half, 2 minutes?
And I did not stop on the bridge.
The video shows otherwise.
Okay.
It's undeniable that you stopped.
You said a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yes.
If something like that was to happen, then you got clear-cut picture if that's the case.
He asked you, why'd you stop?
I did not stop.
The reason police were confident about Robert.
Tú ves, ellos saben ya, porque en realidad ella ya lo dijo sin querer. The footage muestra que tú te paraste ahí por 2 minutos. A lo mejor el footage no muestra tú sacando el cuerpo, pero el footage se ve el carro ahí parado.
Stopping at the bridge was because a good Samaritan, Charles Wright, had come to their aid. While Charles wasn't directly connected to the investigation, he had an interesting reason for coming forward to speak with police.
What made you
Bobo. Eyewitness, peor.
go there to look for her?
Because, like I said, I don't know them per se, but if it was somebody in my family, I want somebody to look. And I just, any water, woods that I can think of, that's where I go.
And then you just stopped real quick just to check.
Right.
Okay.
Because, I mean, like I was telling her, she's got to be somewhere in some water and some woods somewhere. But I didn't think it was going to be like.
Damn.
Where you checked.
In a strange turn of events, Charles's assumption that she had to be in water or in the woods was right. And despite a random search, he stumbled upon the exact area Naomi would later be found.
Try to remember exactly what you saw when you looked down. Did anything look disturbed? Anything look out of place? Notice anything just a little off, odd?
Not really, because it also rained Saturday too. If I'm not mistaken, I think it rained Friday too.
I think it rained a lot this week.
Yeah. It just, sometimes it's just like kind of junky over there anyway. Like I said, people throw debris over there a lot, like deer carcass, stuff like that, trash. But maybe I don't know if I overlooked, but like I said, once you lean over the, nothing. So.
While he wasn't the one to discover the body,
My
Charles's
bad.
knowledge of when her remains weren't in the water was invaluable. Police now knew that the body was likely not disposed of until after Charles checked under the bridge. Thanks to the medical examination, they also knew that the body had been in the water for at least a few days. This put a rough boundary on the period during which the body must have been dumped, a timeline strikingly in sync with Robert's movements that night. As Robert continues to play hardball, investigators pivot to asking him questions that might likely trigger him into confessing.
Do you have problems getting?
Never have. Never have. And as far as me a 12-year-old, I never.
How about you and Lauren?
They don't even, that kind of child don't even appeal to me no kind of way. To the point of I would even think about trying to have with a child. That kind of stuff didn't cross my mind. I know nothing about this child. Who she's been with, where she went, who she went with. I don't know nothing. Nothing. Or any other child for that matter. Had nothing to do with that.
Why would you say any other child?
I'm just saying, just put it out there. Because I've never messed with a child, period. That's why I'm saying.
Now is your time.
My time for
when we walk out that door, we're done. You're not going to have another chance to tell us your side of the story. I told you I could prove you stopped right around that bridge.
Okay.
And then, not only that, Robert, you stopped on there one time when you're coming back towards Detroit, and a car passes you, and you got spooked, and you go back to Detroit, and it's all on video, this part. You take a left, go down, and pull right in a driveway. Wait just a second, back up. You come back, turn back on the road, and go back to the bridge. And that's when you threw her body over.
Okay. Sounds good.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
How?
Because I never stopped.
You stopped the car. You also pulled out and pulled into that driveway. You know good and well you did. Why'd you do it?
Why did I didn't?
Then why is your car doing it? Is an alien driving your car?
Might have been.
You said nobody else drives your car.
They don't, but hell, I mean, hell, if an alien gets it, I'm pretty sure, hell, I can't.
You said you're in your car at that time, and you're in that area. So, who the f*** else is driving it?
I have no idea.
You got a dead 12-year-old girl,
okay,
and that's what you're going to go with?
And I'm sorry that she...
Damn, qué bobo, loco. Mira, ya él ni sabe. Ya él ni sabe.
He is.
Yeah.
When you're charged with murder?
How about this? She look the same?
She don't look the same. She don't look the same at all. I say I'm sorry about that, man. But like I say, I have nothing to do with that at all. Nothing.
No emotion. You're just a cold-hearted killer.
Robert has shown Naomi's image from the crime scene. Another attempt to get a confession out of him, but it fails to elicit a response.
You know, that right there, not a normal reaction. People don't usually stare that hard
because, I mean,
at
it's
that
just,
picture
it's sickening.
as you are.
Damn.
No, it's not sickening. You're enjoying that.
No, what the hell am I?
You're enjoying that.
I promise you, I give you my
People
word.
usually turn that picture over and they can't even look at it. It's so awful.
Mm-hmm.
I just want y'all to get that tested because, like I said, that is not her blood on my car. That is not hers. Where it comes from, I don't know, but it's not hers.
You don't even care.
No.
I understand that you may feel and think that.
No, you don't give.
Okay, that's just what I was going to say. You may feel and think that I don't give. But as I told you before, I mean, I hate this happening to this child, but that's not my doing.
What's
not my doing at all.
What's going to happen is they're going to know that this is how you were acting. This is the denial, the lying, you know, pompous kind of attitude that you're giving.
How is it pompous?
Listen, but when you go up there, and we're going to prove this case. Beyond a reasonable doubt, we're going to prove this case.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get up there and you're like, you know, begging, Judge, please don't give me the death penalty. I regret, I feel remorse. I'm sorry to the family. You know what? This right here is going to come into play because this is your true being right here. You don't give a that little girl is dead.
Okay. And you keep saying this. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Believe me.
you're gonna be begging.
I understand exactly what you're saying. But I'm telling you, this has nothing to do with me. That's why I want you to get out, and I'd be glad when it's done to prove that blood on that car does not belong to this child. That's why I never cleaned my car, because I figured this would happen.
A short break later, when everyone reconvenes for hour 4 of the interview, the dynamic has changed, and so have the interviewers. The female investigator has been replaced, and the new investigator wastes no time in putting pressure on Robert.
I mean, you know the technology. You watch TV, you see all the... We can put you at the scene, video, and we can also put you there by your phone, right? We can agree on that, okay? You admit to being there. So you probably have the better chance of winning the lottery than you do of being where a girl is picked up and where she is dropped off, murdered, whatever you want to call it, disposed of. Basically like a piece of trash. Thrown over half naked, like a piece of trash. It makes you look like just one sorry bastard.
I did all that stopping. I did all that.
Why?
But I did not dump this body.
Was somebody else with you?
No, no one else was with me.
You were by yourself.
But I was told that something would be there.
What?
It wasn't this when I looked. Or I didn't see this when I looked.
What was supposed to be there?
It was supposed to be as far as what exactly is it supposed to something to benefit me? So like that. Something to benefit me, I guess.
Some dead?
No, I don't hope not. But it was just supposed to be something, and I should have kept it. It was a note for me. It was a note on the car. All honesty, all inside.
You talking shit, bruh. You talking shit, bruh. Nobody. No. What the fuck you talking about? You talking about your culo? What the fuck? No, nigga. What note?
I said I never picked her up, never took her anywhere. And it says something to benefit you.
From Naomi?
No.
Who's it from?
It didn't have no name from nobody or to nobody. It was just on the car.
Which car?
That is the absolute worst story I've ever heard.
I'm weird, bro.
The honest, the God truth.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening. Here.
Just listen to me.
Let me hear
When
this.
it's benefit you.
Okay. How's it going to benefit you? Monetarily?
It didn't say. It just said something to benefit you.
As the investigator continues to prod, Robert finally poses the question they'd all been anticipating. A question poised to unveil chilling answers.
They're going to make you out to be the monster on the stand. The only thing that you can say is, I didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what's got to come out of you tonight. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I made a mistake. All's not lost. But tonight's the night. I'm going to help you through it. I'm going to help you through it to take that weight off your heart.
You going to help me through it?
Yep.
How you going to help me through it?
Because we're going to talk about it. So I can give that mama closure. And let her know that you're not the monster that everybody makes you out to be. Because right now, I'm your only saving grace.
I just need some writing saying that, I guess I knew, so you can't make me no deals. You can't. I just need something to write and saying.
How about this? We'll talk about this. And I will give you my word that I will go to the state attorney and I will say, he came in here, we did a little dance, but he found it in his heart to talk about this, and he owned up to it. Whatever happens down the road is going to be up to them.
Well, okay, you telling him that, I mean, that's still not telling me or guaranteeing me anything as far as this industry.
And I can't do that for you, brother. I can't guarantee you anything. I'm not going to sit in here and lie to you and tell you that I
precisely.
can't.
You're not even allowed to.
I need a number. Kind of number.
It's like,
My fault.
of time.
20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that may not mean a lot, but like I said, I mean,
What do you think her life is worth?
Her life is worth more than 20 years.
Damn, bro.
Did they find the candy in her mouth?
Yes.
They found candy in her mouth.
Yes. What was it?
It was candy.
What kind of candy?
I have no idea. I just know she was eating candy.
Finally, after 5 excruciating hours, Robert begins to give police the confession they've worked so hard for.
He's done.
But while he's now approaching the truth of his involvement, some of the details still don't add up, and it only gets more unbelievable.
She had came out, she spoke bad. Said she had like my shoes. And she said something that I didn't understand. I went on to my car. She was like, well, where's Lawrence? So Lawrence at work. She said, can I come in with you? And I told her no. And she couldn't come in. She kept on. I let her come over, I let her come over. I kept telling her no.
What?
She walked over to the steps as I was going up the steps. And she said, I'm coming anyway. I said, like, no. The further I went up, the further she came up. And I make it to the door, she's at the top of the steps, and I tell her to go back home. Go home. Go home. She stands there and she's like, why can't I come in? Why can't I come? I said, because you can't. You don't need to be over here. Leave.
In his version of the truth, Robert portrays himself as the innocent adult who attempted to discourage Naomi's advances, an account as unbelievable as the crime itself.
I really didn't mean for things to go where they did. I didn't try to hurt the child, but before I realized I had choked her out.
While Naomi's ultimate cause of death was asphyxiation, she bore multiple other injuries, including lacerations to her face, neck, and other parts of her body.
How? Just around the neck?
Around the neck. I choked her out around the neck. And I said I didn't really mean for it to happen. I didn't mean to do it. You know, I heard when she was found. That's why I said I would really like for them to take a DNA test, because they said when she was found, she didn't have on no bottom. She was fully dressed. She was fully dressed. I never took any of her clothes off. I never took anything anywhere. She was fully dressed. I even took her slides and left them with her.
At the creek?
Yes. I choked her out, yes. I'll admit that. I did choke her out, but I did not. That's why I stressed them, do a DNA test. No, do this 5 seconds. No, did I have with her in my car? No, I didn't do any of that.
Just put her upstairs?
No, I didn't have with her anyway.
Obviously, she's a good-looking little 12-year-old.
But that for her was not anywhere my intention.
Yeah, obviously.
Though it's likely difficult for the detective to talk this way, he's doing everything he can to minimize the crime to get a confession and get justice for Naomi.
Yeah, obviously, she's coming on to you. She wants to see her.
That's what she said, but that's not me. I understand.
It is what it is. I mean, she's trying to give you some. She's trying to give you some.
But that's not what I wanted from a 12-year-old.
Okay.
That's not what I wanted from a 12-year-old.
So you grab her by the neck, you shove her against the wall or shove her against the door, or what, while you were choking her?
In the corner of the wall.
Corner of the wall, behind the door, in the corner? I mean, I guess at some point she went out.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
When she went out, I thought she had just blacked out, but I had choked her pretty damn good to the point where she wasn't breathing.
So she goes out, and then you're like, oh, realize what had happened. Then what?
At first, I'm thinking that she's kind of and so when I see that she's not, I really just panicked from that point.
Where'd you put her?
She was in the car.
Where at?
In the back seat.
In the back seat. So you grab her, carry her downstairs, and put her in the back seat?
Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I felt if I tried to take her to the hospital, it would say that this is what I was afraid of. If I took her to the hospital, I would end up here.
Right.
Because, okay, I'm going to bring this young girl to the hospital, dead or whatever. So I feel like I just had to, try to get rid of the body.
This adds a horrifying new angle to the case. Thanks to the information provided by Charles, the Good Samaritan who had gone out looking for Naomi, police knew that Naomi's body had not been dropped into the creek until Friday at the earliest. That meant that Robert had kept Naomi's body with him for 4 days. Eerily, even when he had visited Yolundra, the body had likely been in the car the entire time.
Did you go out to the car when you showed up?
Yes.
Did you get in the car?
Yes.
You were in the front seat?
Yes.
Did you look in the back seat?
No.
Okay, you didn't notice like maybe a raincoat spread out back there?
I mean, I'm sure he had his rain gear because it was supposed to rain.
Okay.
But no, I didn't
Because he's saying she was in there.
I didn't look in the back seat. I mean, I don't understand why he would let me sit in his car if there was somebody in his car. Like, at no point in our interaction did he ever seem like he was nervous or like he was worried about something or like anything was wrong. Like, there was never a point in us talking that it didn't seem right.
Back in the interrogation room with Robert, investigators attempt to hammer out the final details of his confession. In the process, they make a heartbreaking revelation.
I see the ladies walking, so I put my raincoat in the car, in the back seat, put my boots in the back on the floor. Naomi's mom was on the phone, the other lady was just walking with her, and the lady, she stopped me and asked me and said, "Have you seen a little girl?" And when she asked me that, my heart just sank.
Because you knew they were
I already
looking
knew
for
they were looking for her.
She's in your back seat.
She's back there in my backseat dead. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can't tell them that she's in my backseat dead. I mean, I said, no, ma'am, I haven't.
Bobo.
And Naomi's mom was like, well, it's my little girl. So you know my little girl? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I don't know what time she went missing. She like, her brother doesn't even know. So he was standing out there with her. He was like, he don't even know when she left. And I'm trying to get away as fast as I can because I don't need him to walk into my car.
Tragically, it appears that Shantara Hurry was within feet of her missing daughter's body during the first frantic hours of her search. It was also determined through the medical reports that Naomi was likely killed shortly after she disappeared. Horrifically, it seems Naomi had been dead for almost the entirety of the search.
I told you basically that I killed the child, but
You did.
I mean, I didn't know, nothing. I didn't try to kill her. I honestly didn't try to kill her.
To gather further evidence on Robert's conduct after the crime and more clues on Naomi's presence in his vehicle, investigators check with his girlfriend, Lauren.
When is the next time you rode in his car? It's okay. You don't remember. Okay. Just wondering if you remembered anything that stood out.
That's why we're being so specific about these questions, because, you know, sometimes when we think we know somebody, we really don't. But we have enough at this time to go ahead and charge him with murder. And that's tough. That's really tough, because you have your own family to worry about.
I'm just really sad for you and your little boy, because you don't have anything to do with this, and your sweet little boy doesn't have anything to do with this. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Please don't be sorry.
I'm sorry to have to tell you that.
Precisely.
Not anything like that, you know?
Well, of course, yeah. Of course. You cannot, do not take any kind of blame yourself. I mean, some people just snap, you know? You don't know what triggers them in their head.
Despite his acknowledgement that he killed Naomi, Robert still continues to spout off denials and can't bring himself to tell the whole truth.
And I have no kind of desire to be with a 12-year-old.
I mean, probably not at the time, but I mean, because she acts like she's 17, 18. Wouldn't you agree that she acts?
I mean, the way she came on, she said, yeah. I understand what you're trying to do. Even if you ain't trying to do nothing. I mean, maybe she was just talking to see if she could see my... I mean, I don't know. But I didn't show it to her.
You weirdo.
And I didn't do anything to her.
As frustrating as Robert's stubborn denial may be, police have enough to charge him with the murder of Naomi Jones, and his interrogation ended soon after. In 2021, a jury declared Robert Howard guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Eventually, Shantara Hurry, Naomi's mother, settled for $2 million in a civil case against the apartment complex owners on the grounds that they should have made other residents aware that an offender lived part-time on the property. While this is nothing in comparison to the loss of her daughter, we can hope that this might lift some of the pressure on the single mother and ease the family's path going forward.
Oh, dat is wat ze bedoelde. Oké. Ik wist niet eens heel die shit dat hij een offender was. Oké, maar damn, bruh. Okay, that was a crazy shit, bruh. But okay, I'm done for the day. It's fucking late, and I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna try to upload this shit, and I'll see you later.